So I'm here with my awesome wife, Sharayah, and she just joined, or recently joined, a moms group in Durango where several of those moms moved to Durango within the last couple of years. So we kind of put together a list of reasons why they moved here, and we're going to talk about that now. So the first reason was the different climates that you are close to here. So from areas in Arizona to Texas to New Mexico, even down to or up further north, Yellowstone, Montana, you're surrounded by different climates and different environments. So can you speak to that a little bit more as to just kind of what they've told you?
Yeah, definitely. So I have a friend who actually told me, yeah, if it's too cold, you go south. If it's too hot, you go north. So there's definitely surrounding places that are close enough to drive to that you don't have to plan this extravagant week-long trip. You can just go away for the weekend and just try to find an escape from either of the climates. So I thought that was a pretty cool way to put it.
Yeah, and with that, when she's talking about north, you can even go 30 minutes north to like Purgatory Ski Resort, Telluride. Those areas are over 10,000 feet elevation compared to in Durango where we're 6512. So the temperature could be 10 degrees cooler if you just go up, or you could go a couple hours south down to Moab, where it's quite a bit warmer in the winter. So it makes a big difference, and we're not talking a big drive at all. Can you tell them a little bit about what it's like to live close to trails? If they're from a city where they maybe don't have trails close to them, just what that's like?
So actually across the highway from us, there's the Hermosa Creek Trail, and that goes up all the way to a campground as well. So you can find camping there. There's a trail that you can bike on, run on, hike on. Yeah. There's also north in Purgatory, which is about 20 minutes from us. It's about 30 minutes from town. So there's also some trails up there, which in the summer and the winter time, there's things to do. So there's biking trails in the summer. There's skiing, of course, in the winter. There's cross-country skiing. There's snowshoeing. There's all kinds of things you can do out there, which is wonderful. And I also love that I can go south into town. So there's the Animas Mountain Trail, there's Horse Gulch, there's Twin Buttes. There's so many trails in town, as well as up at the college. There's also like the Rim Trail that you can hike on, all of which have great views because you can see different perspectives of the city of Durango.
Right.
There's also subdivisions such as Edgemont, which is actually behind this ridge that's right behind us on the other side. So there's little walking trails through there. I appreciate that each neighborhood has different perks, and it seems like they all enjoy that there's a different aspect of the outdoors in each section, wherever each subdivision is. And so they kind of capitalize and take advantage of their location and build things around those perks, like wherever they're located.
Yeah, absolutely. So to specify, Edgemont has over 10 miles worth of wood chip trails throughout it. And then it's even got a private access to the Florida River, just for an example. And so guys, this is why you guys gotta reach out to me, because I'm happy to show you specific subdivisions that have stuff like trails, private access to fishing, stuff that you're looking for that's really hard to find on the internet. So give me a call, text, email, days, nights, weekends. I'm a licensed realtor here in Durango. Would love to help you guys with all your real estate needs. And also more than happy to get the drone up in the air, give you guys kind of a neighborhood subdivision tour or a tour of the area that you're looking at with the drone. Really just looking to give you guys more value, and yeah, don't hesitate to reach out. So Sharayah, last week I had a couple moms actually reach out to me. They were watching my YouTube channel, wanted to purchase a property in Durango, but they're a little bit concerned about the size of town and being able to plug their kids into extracurricular activities, into gymnastics, into dance, things like that. Can you just address that, talk about some of your friends' experiences with their kids and our experiences with our kids?
Sure. Yeah, so we have some friends who are involved with the Durango Gymnastics, and they start at 8 months, and I'm not sure what the ending, I think they do adults actually too. But what I love is that it's available for infants and toddlers. So it's really great for summer activities, winter activities, just developing motor skills. I actually met the owner of the gym, and she's so sweet, and you can just tell she has such a heart for kids. So I love that's available. And also there's a couple other things that I really love that are great for young kids. And so one of those is the library. They have story time at least twice a week. And then they also have a great kids area where they can do different activities, not just books, but there's like hands-on activities that are available for them too. And it's right on the river, which is amazing because you can look down and see the river trail and the river itself. So you can go for a walk afterwards. Great if you location. Want. You can, you know, kind of meet people. You can meet people there. I've met people there just to go for a walk, and then we've gone into the library right after. So it goes into started at the beginning of the valley, which is north of the Durango town, and then it goes all the way through town, all the way south of town. I don't remember how long it is. I think you remember.
About 9 miles. Finishes right about Home Depot. So it really goes from the beginning of town to the end of town, and they're actually planning on adding on an extra couple miles to get it all the way over to the Three Springs subdivision going east towards Bayfield.
Yeah, so it's really great because there's a lot of different spots that you can park and walk from. So I really appreciate that because no matter where you live in town, you or even outside of town or on either side of town, you can find the nearest spot to you, and it's really accessible, and you can go as far as you want. You can go out and turn back. We've gone the whole way, like we've done the whole thing on bikes before, and it's just a really great avenue for young moms or just kids learning how to ride their bikes, or I mean there's all kinds of different things you can do on the river trail, and it's really beautiful. Yeah,
just so we've moved from Albuquerque a few years back. How do you feel raising kids here compared to there? Do you feel like there's less activities and you wish you were in a bigger town?
Oh no, I really love that this is a smaller town because it has more of a small town feel where you don't, I guess, get lost in the city. So another thing that comes to my mind is Cafe Au Play, and so that starts at babies and it goes all the way up to like 5 years old or so. And there's a great outdoor area that you can play in, or that the babies can play in and the kids can play in. There's designated age appropriate sections for any age group in that range to play in, and then there's also a great indoor airspace for like younger babies or during the winter time. They also have a specific infant and mother time to meet with. She's actually a breastfeeding consultant. She's a lactation consultant, and she's also a midwife, so she's just so great and available to answer any questions that I know I personally had. So just to go hang out, talk with other moms, talk with her. The people who lead Cafe Au Play are also really friendly and great and personable, and they just really care about that community. So.
And that's over at Christ the King Lutheran Church off of Florida Road. So again, it's right in town, really accessible as well, right?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
And I love the start of Cafe Au Play as well, because they notice the need. So that's something else I've noticed about raising kids here, is that people will step in and create something that doesn't exist because there's a need. So there was this need for young families and young moms and young kids who aren't yet school age yet to have a place to go to mingle and get to know other kids, get to know other families. There's For Love and Babes, and so that's the moms group that John mentioned earlier, about how I joined this group when our youngest son was, I think he was 2 months, maybe almost 3 months. And so again, finding the moms that have had babies within, I think all of our babies are within 3 months apart. And so just that support, just that postpartum support, just to love on moms, love on babies. And then I'm still actually meeting with them, and our second son is actually almost a year old. And so we meet occasionally, like we've met for everybody's birthdays. We've just gone around and just shared the struggles, the highs and lows of motherhood, and it's just been a really great support group. Yeah,
that's awesome. A few other things I was going to mention real quick is also the pool. We just took our oldest son to the pool for his birthday, for his second birthday. Really great pool. Got a great kids area. Got a lap pool. They have a high dive, a low dive. They've got even a rope swing. Really nice, really big slide as well, even for adults and older kids. So great pool. That's an indoor pool. And then attached to that, that's inside the rec center, they have really nice gym, basketball courts, racquetball courts, a track, 120-yard track that goes around the top of the basketball courts. So great spot as well, especially in the winter.
Yeah, another spot that's great in the winter that I thought of specifically for kids is the Powerhouse. So it's a science center, but it's geared towards young kids, and they have Tiny Tuesdays, which is for us right now because our sons are 2 and almost 1. And so there's just age appropriate little experimental things that they can go and just be able to hands-on learn and explore and play, and again, another community place to meet other moms, and even moms that you already know. Like you can just you can plan a time to go together and you can hang out, and your kids can learn how to play with other kids, and it's just a great space. And I don't know what age it goes up to there either, but I know that it's for kids of all ages, so you can find something for any kid of any age.
Yeah,
there.
it definitely is. Yeah, and they're again right on the river trail. Right next to them, they have a really good food truck. They've also got a little bookstore right down the trail from them, maybe 100 yards. So there's a lot to do right in that area as well. Restaurants right across the street. Downtown is directly across the street as well. So just a lot to do right in that kind of downtown area. So the next thing on the list, they were talking about just all of what Durango has. She mentioned, again, the desert, the mountain, the river, just all right in the La Plata Mountains, right within an hour range of us. So just the diversity. So can you kind of speak to that, and then some of the things that you like about that as well?
Yeah, definitely. So actually, I will say that it just reminds me of the trip that we took before we moved here, just right before we moved here. It was really cool to see just the different changes of just climate and different things you could do. We went to Moab, and then we drove through Phil's World, which is...
Yeah, it's an awesome mountain biking spot, probably rated one of the highest in all of Colorado. And it's only about an hour from us going west from here.
So we hit that going out and back, and then we made it back to Durango, where we found tons of other places to mountain bike, hiking trails. We found great places to eat. It's small, but it feels like there's still a lot to offer here. There's still plenty of amenities where you don't feel like you're in this random mountain town that you blink and it's over. It's really neat to be able to find the culture that's here and the people that are here, which I think we're going to get into a little bit more. But I think what I really love the most is that there's hikes right in town, and there's mountain biking right in town. And from where we live, we even live in the valley towards Purgatory. Town is just 10 minutes away, and one of my favorite trails to go on is the Animas Mountain Trail, and it's literally a 10-minute drive from my house to the trailhead. And you can hike. It could be a full day hike, or it could just be like a 20-minute hike, whatever you're looking for that day. It's uphill, there's downhill, there's just different things you can do. There's people that bike on that trail. You can take your dogs on that trail. So there's just so many options like that in town that are so accessible and so easy to get to, and you don't have to plan a whole day or a whole weekend to try to get some recreational activities in. So that's what I love the most about here.
Yeah, it's so accessible. And by the way, guys, shoot us a comment if you guys have any specific questions, especially related towards Sharayah, and she'd be happy to hop in the comments and answer your questions. And to your point about Animas Mountain, that's right in town. So if you're living in town, it's just right there. You can literally bike there. And what's really cool about it too, and cool about a lot of these trails she's talking about, is they're not just great biking trails and that's it. You have great hiking trails as well, but you're really getting great views from a 10-minute hike, 15-minute hike, because a lot of them climb up and are looking into town or looking out at the mesa. Just really, really pretty views. On that note, they're building this mesa. They just finished kind of phase 1 of the Mesa Bike Park. And so really awesome bike park that they just did that's right connected to downtown or to in-town Durango. And they're gonna build like a pavilion. They're gonna do walking trails. If you guys are at all familiar with Buffalo Park over in Flagstaff, they're gonna have a park somewhat similar to that, in that it's a lot flatter trails, where Durango really doesn't have many flat trails that are dirt. We have the Animas River Trail, but we don't have quite those flat dirt trails that you can run on. So they are working on that. And then to her point about the restaurants, the kind of the restaurant scene, we do have really good restaurants. We've got a restaurant called Primus, and their chef was actually trained with Wolfgang Puck. Really, really incredible food. And I've seen some reviews on their site talking about how a person that came from New York City that really knows the restaurant scene there tried Primus, and he said it matches or is better than a lot of restaurants he's had in New York City. So that says a lot about Durango itself. So the next thing, if you don't mind touching on, just young families and the ability to network was the other thing, one of the other items that her friend in her mom's group was talking about.
Yes, so several of the moms in my mom's group moved here for that very reason, that this place is such a wonderful place for kids to grow up. There's so many activities for them to do, especially in the summer. There's camps, like week-long camps if you want to do like a bike camp, or an aerial camp, which is like a gymnastics type thing. There's just so many different options and avenues that they can do in the wintertime and the summertime. So from a very young age, I think is what I like the most, is like for like Devo, the bike group that is here, they start I think as young as 4, I think. So you can get into things that are so entertaining and so good for kids, just to be outside, just to be in the outdoors, to enjoy life in the mountains. And that's, I think, what is so wonderful for young families, because there's something for everybody to do, and something that families can do all together, or for each individual to have their own hobbies as well.
Right. So we've got a bunch of different little schools. There's an outdoor school that's specific to just being outdoors, learning about the outdoors. Even for younger kids, they have a homestead school that's part of James Ranch, which is just north in the Animas Valley. That's a really cool school as well, and gets 2 days a week that they meet in the spring. So there's a bunch of different opportunities. There's some great opportunities as you go out towards Bayfield, little co-op type schools. So there's a lot of different opportunities. We also have a Montessori school. Can you speak to that at all? I know you have some friends that have kids that are there.
Yeah, I think that's a really awesome thing that we have that option. I looked a little bit into the Montessori culture, and it's really wonderful to be able to teach kids a different way of learning. And so to have that here in such a small area where maybe you'd find more options in a bigger city, but what's wonderful is like to be able to have that option here. I know that the moms that I know that have kids there absolutely love it, and they're so grateful to have that as an option. Yeah,
it's cool that we have some of those options that bigger cities have. And we do have a bigger population than some of these tiny towns. We're about 20,000 in town, about 40,000 in the entire county. The next item on our list was just kind of going through a few testimonials. So if you don't mind just sharing, maybe just read or kind of paraphrase what some of your friends said, so they can just hear exactly what they were saying.
Yeah, so one of my friends is also a homeschool mom, and she's actually let me know that there's a great network of homeschool families here, and that culture in and of itself, just being able to get outside and learn hands-on experiences on trails, different water features like different lakes, different rivers, different climates, just all kinds of learning opportunities for homeschool parents as well. So that's one really big thing that one of my friends has really been so thankful for. And I would say also, I think just the appeal of Durango and being able to be here and to experience the magical, like that was what one of my friends described it as a magical place, because you can be here and you can just embrace the mountain feel, but also the being able to meet people that kind of make it magical, because they have so many different hobbies. Like you can plug into any hobby really that you want to here in the outdoors. So you can kind of find like your group of people, and everyone is so welcoming, and it doesn't matter what your skill level is. I have not run into anybody yet who has looked down upon me for being a beginner at mountain biking, for example. Like I feel like no matter what skill level you are, you're going to be welcomed and encouraged, and just able to learn and thrive in like what you want to learn and what you want to do. So I will say that. And then one other thing I wanted to add, and I have a story actually about the people here. So I was going to the post office, and I had about 4 boxes, and I was carrying my baby in the other arm, so I had my hands full. There was a gentleman walking in. He had his huge box, right? So he just saw me and he said, "Hey, throw your boxes on top of my box." And so I put my boxes on top of his. He walks inside. As we're walking in through the doors, there's this other person coming out, and she holds the door open for both of us to walk through. And then through the door to the actual post office, somebody else is coming out, and they open the door for us to walk in. And so literally from start to finish, like I'm right about to walk up to the counter, and the person behind me walks my boxes up to the counter for me as I'm holding the baby. And it's like literally from the time that I got out of the car to the time that I made it to the counter at the post office, people are just looking out for us. And I really appreciated that, because it doesn't matter if you know the person or not. I feel like they just this culture kind of looks out for each other.
Yeah, and I feel like you see that almost anywhere. You go to the grocery store, people are helping you. People pick up small talk really quickly. Like, people are caring, they're not always just kind of sticking to themselves.
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely see that a lot. So to go into a little more detail on what they were talking about, they were kind of saying, like, comparing everywhere in the US, or especially in Colorado and kind of these mountain areas, that there just isn't another place that they would live. Their criteria, and I'm just going to kind of read what they said, was just easy access to the outdoors. You guys probably already know that by what we were talking about earlier. But then there is a 4-year university here. You have that kind of access to all the stuff going on with the university. So they have a lot of different plays, orchestra. They have a lot of different events going on with the college. A lot of great games. Soccer is really huge here, so we'll go out and support the soccer team. So for a small town, we have a lot of stuff that bigger towns have, bigger cities have. And then just the continued learning opportunities through that college, but also through other places like Stillwater Music, where our son just went. A lot of our friends' kids go as well. It's a great opportunity to learn music. And then just, again, talking about the sense of community and the 4 seasons, but also when you talk about winter, as you can see behind us, it's winter right now while we're filming this. A lot of days, I think we get about 300 days of sunshine a year. So that's the other thing. If you compare us to areas like Montana, Wyoming, a lot of those areas are gorgeous, they're mountain towns, but they don't get the sunshine and they don't get the warmth like we do. Like right now it's about 45 degrees out. And I'm just gonna kind of list off again something else that one of her friends said. They said when they came here to visit, in just a matter of 2 days, they biked all around town, they rafted the Animus, they rock climbed. There's rock climbing right just on the edge of town. They ate some great food. They went to a really good brewery called Ska, which I definitely recommend. They have a lot of live music there, really cool spot. And they met a ton of nice people, just again, going back to that theme about the community and the people that we're meeting. And they just said it made it really easy and they don't regret it. So anything to kind of touch on?
Yeah, I actually just thought of another friend who moved down from northern Colorado, and one of the things that stood out to her is events like River Days, where it seems like the whole town comes out to support these competitors who are doing different events in the Animus River. So I think just the camaraderie and the support from just the whole town, it seems like just this community that we have, like the small town feel with a lot of great amenities. So I think that's what makes it a great place to live.
Guys, if you're even thinking about moving here, give us a call, text, email, days, nights, weekends, licensed realtor here in Durango, and would love to help you out. And then let us know if there's anything we missed or anything you'd like us to go over in a future video. And make sure to leave a comment, subscribe, and like the video. Appreciate you watching. See ya.